Visionary, generous, forthright, even eccentric. These are just a few of the words used to describe J.L. Weigand, Jr. Though only a few people may have known him well, his legacy, the J.L. Weigand Jr. Notre Dame Legal Education Trust, will dramatically impact the lives of many aspiring attorneys for many years to come. The establishment of this scholarship trust came as no surprise to those who knew the real character, qualities, and ideals of the man himself.
J.L. Weigand was a very special man. You'd be proud to know him because he had integrity, he had ethics, he had honesty.
I think he was a class act because of the way he approached people, even opponents in circumstances where he might have had an opportunity to take advantage of someone. I never saw that side of him.
Pretty easy to respect those qualities.
J.L. Weigand Jr. was born on July 31st, 1932 in Wichita, Kansas. Even at an early age, those around him recognized there was something exceptional about this young man.
He went to Notre Dame, graduated Notre Dame, went to Georgetown Law School.
And I think the reason he went to Georgetown is because our dad went to Georgetown. And then he graduated and came home and went to work at the law firm that my dad was in.
J.L.'s 4 years spent at Notre Dame led to a lifelong love affair with the school. For him, no other institution could stir as much passion and pride as Notre Dame.
He was Notre Dame through and through. If there was a case when Notre Dame was playing football, the case took second fiddle.
First was the practice of law. On top of that was family. On top of that was religion, and on top of that was Arab Parseesian.
He watched and listened to Notre Dame football. That's what he did for fun.
There is no doubt that despite his humbleness, J.L. Weigand was a man who stood out. His personality was such that people who met him were left with indelible impressions.
You could talk to J.L. and just about any subject, and he was very well read, had a good analytical mind, and enjoyed seeing how your mind worked.
Very inquisitive. He was like he was on the stand when he was just talking to people.
One of the things he did like to do was he liked to make you think, and a lot of times in these discussions it wouldn't matter whether he was for a particular issue or not. He would take the opposite side just to press you into being able to express your opinion.
Anything to do with politics, particularly with Supreme Court nominations, those type of things, or big legal cases.
Didn't like losing. At anything? At anything.
Obviously, being an attorney, he did not like to lose any debate, whether it was with the family or whoever.
He had a pretty high standard for himself and set the bar pretty high, not only for himself, but for other people as well.
His own living was always modest, and again, he wasn't really concerned about what other people thought. He did what he did in the way he thought it best to do it.
He was very frugal.
J.L. wouldn't pay $1 to see a carnival. He watched the pennies very, very closely.
Most people that had had the kind of money that J.L. had would have had an island in Tahiti. That wasn't his value system.
That's the way he lived. A great part of his life was making sure that he could accumulate enough funds to establish the law scholarships.
As a result of his commitment, sacrifices, and generosity, the J.L. Weigand Jr. Notre Dame Legal Education Trust was established in 2003.
He believed very strongly in the law, and I think he felt like this was probably the best long-term thing to do with the money that he'd accumulated.
The foundation is a reflection of how J.L. felt about his profession. The object of the foundation is to raise the bar.
He wanted to help students that were gifted, and what a way to do it.
And he wanted to make sure that the brightest kids stayed in Kansas and practiced law.
J.L. had hoped that by the kids getting the scholarships that they wouldn't incur such huge student loans, and that it might be possible for them to stay in the state of Kansas rather than having to chase larger salaries in the big cities simply to pay off student loans.
And would also be good for the state of Kansas as well as good for the kids, and I think it was his way of giving back.
That was what he felt was important, is to capture this talent and bring it back to his native land.